You've heard the words before, all right? You know what I'm talking about. You've given this advice. You've been given this advice, okay? The words, the term, the phrase, just be yourself. We've all encountered it. And at this point, I kind of hate it. And I'll explain why in this episode of Kinda Filtered. Like what I did there? We got an intro now. I did an introduction. Tell me if you hated that. Hello and welcome to Kinda Filtered, the show where I sit down and ramble, give you my opinions, thoughts, and all sorts of stuff, and make sure they go through the sieve a little bit because, yeah, I don't really want everybody knowing everything about me. But I guess at some point, with enough episodes, you guys will just have enough. That's why we have the filter. So I can sieve out as much as I can. Got to keep some mystery, otherwise you'll get bored of me. That almost rhymed. Today we're talking about just being yourself. Yeah, that terminology. I feel like of all the topics that I've talked about, I feel like this one might be the one that people disagree with me on the most, which is fantastic because I love a discussion. All right, I love to learn. I love to find out new things. So hopefully together we will find a new perspective through discussing stuff. But before that, I'm gonna shout at you. I'm gonna shout a lot and you're just gonna have to deal with it because this is a video that's pre-recorded and you cannot stop me. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, what is just be yourself? What even is that, okay? Now, if you've been around, at least in the Western world, for long enough, you have probably heard that term or phrase. And it usually comes about as, it's kind of like this default piece of advice. If somebody fucking comes with you with some sort of crisis or issue that usually relates to having to get their personality, being outgoing, and so forth and such, usually the default piece of advice is, just be yourself, dog. Oh, I got a job interview and it's this job that I've been wanting for years, but I don't know how to speak to people. Just be yourself, dog. Oh my God, I got on a date with this person who basically looks like they melt perfectly with me. The dating all their things, it's amazing. And I'm freaking out because I'm terrible at dates. Just be yourself, dog. Oh my God, I have a public speaking event at the UN and I have to deliver all these facts that are gonna solve climate change forever. But if I do it wrong, the companies will pull out and Earth will disintegrate. Just be yourself, dog. That type of shit, you know? Just whenever somebody has to go do something like that, it's such an easy piece of advice for us to give. And I think it's such an easy piece of advice to give because at its heart, at its core, it is such a beautiful sentiment. Isn't it just lovely? Just the idea that you, your special flower that you are, will be enough to just fix the problem. You know, that's it. You gotta just close your eyes for a couple seconds. Really visualize who you are as a person. Once you discover that, the answer was inside you all along. Boom, problem solved, earth saved, partner attained, job got. That's such a beautiful idea that the answer is inside you, right? But I think it's one of those things that's too good to be true. Because it isn't. It just isn't inherently. I just don't think. And all right, like let's just break this down. First of all, that is such a vague piece of advice. Someone tells you to just be yourself as a solution to one of these type of problems. What the fuck do you even do with that? It's not even like go and reflect and figure. No, it's just be yourself, dog. I'm like, hey man, if the answer was that easy, I probably wouldn't be asking you for advice, but now I won't ask you for any more advice, you know what I'm saying? Second issue I tend to have with it is I have noticed that people tend to use the excuse of being themselves or just being who they are. There's several variations of the term. You've heard it, I've heard them, you know what I'm getting at here. As an excuse to stay stuck in their ways. For better or for worse, just staying the person they are. Because they're just being who they are. They're just being themselves. And what's so wrong with that, dog? You know, it's like, and you're just sitting there thinking, you know, it might be better for you, I, and everyone else on planet Earth if you if you weren't just yourself. I just, like, just maybe if you were slightly, if you weren't yourself, we might all be better off. You especially, right? So those are the two kind of general problems I have with them. And I think the third problem that I have with the advice of just be yourself is I think a lot of us will get that advice, right? Because it's so common and, you know, we get it so many times. For some people, it just fucking works. They get that advice, they go to the thing, and they just be themselves. They just did it. That's all it took. And then when you get that advice and you try and be yourself, you put your foot in your mouth and you fail the UN conference, the person throws a drink in your face and the employer tells you to never come in a 30-mile radius of their office, you're like, oh, I guess I'm just trash. I'll just go jump in the dumpster and wait for the garbage collector to come in here, you know? You feel worse because you're like, did I be myself wrong? Like, what did I do wrong here? Right? For those three reasons, and to be honest, there's so many other reasons, but those I think are the primary reasons why the phrase to me, I just kind of hate it, and I hate the general sentiments around it. I think at its core, it has like a beautiful message, but it's too beautiful to be fucking true, right? So, I've ranted, I've rambled, and I've complained. And you may be asking yourself, so Simba, what the fuck am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to be? If just be yourself is terrible advice, then what's good advice? And, first of all, I'm a 21-year-old on the internet. If you're coming to me for answers, just don't. And secondly, this is the part of kind of filters that I have the trouble with the most. Because I feel bad, first of all, not leaving people with answers. I feel like I constantly just leave people with questions. But also, I don't feel like I'm ever qualified enough to provide answers to anything. And with that, I guess I can tell you what I can do, and you can see if it works for you. And it might not, because I'm not a trained professional. I have no qualifications. I know nothing about anything. Understand? Okay? Cool. Now I can say the next part with a clear conscience. I found for myself, for me, the issue that I had with trying to take on the advice of just being yourself is, one, I didn't know what being myself even meant. And two, I had this lingering feeling that the version I was of myself, even though I didn't really understand what it was, I had a lingering feeling still that that was not the version of me that I wanted to be. And for me, kind of the first thing that I had to do in order to kind of step away from the platitudes and actually trying to work on fixing and solving shit, I had to sit down and reflect and try and get a better sense of who I am. I've got no idea who I am right now. Not a fucking clue. But I have a much better sense of who I am than when I started reflecting. That's all you can really get. At least that's all I've really gotten, is a better sense. And that sense constantly changes. And that's okay. That's fine. You, we are all constantly evolving. And if who you are doesn't ever change, then that might be a problem. Or might not. I don't fucking know. Okay? Once I had gotten a better sense of myself, I started to sit down and think, who do I want to be? What kind of person would I like to become? And for me, that meant looking and seeing who I aspire. I think we all have people that we aspire to be like. We all have people with aspirational qualities. That doesn't mean you have to idolize a person. And it's a kind of an ongoing process. I constantly find new people that I aspire to be like. And I just look at them and I go, I like that, I like that, I like that, I like that, I like that. And then I weigh, why do I like that? 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 Right? And the reason you do that is because all I'm trying to do, at least for me, is trying to prepare myself for more situations. Prepare myself for more things, you know? Working, if I feel like my ability to socialize with people is something I'm really terrible at, you know, and I see a figure and I see this person, I'm like, their social skills are great. I'd like to have social skills like this person because of X, Y, and Z. I work on that. I read some books, I do some exercises, I practice, I go and speak to people, and I get better and better. And now I have prepared myself for a future situation. Now, if I do have to go give an interview, I can socialize better, I can sit down, I can talk, etc., etc. You just do that for various things. You start to prepare yourself. You will never be 100% prepared for everything, and there will be times where you go into a situation and you're not ready. You're just not prepared. And what you can do at that point is fail with style. But that's a whole nother video for a whole nother day. I hope that video made sense and I hope it helped. I'm gonna imagine I said a lot of stupid shit in that, but I stand by it. Unless it was really stupid, then I don't stand by it. Yeah, that's all from me. I know it's been a minute, but yeah, here's one. Here's one for the road, for the travels. Yeah, here's one for you. It's just for you. You watching, this one was just for you. Okay? So if you really didn't like it, I'll feel bad. This was, see everyone else watching? It's not for them. It's for you. I made this video for you.